Hello and welcome to the August 28th stream of Skin Deep Development. I am Brennan Chung, and today we're going to start by taking a little peek of something I worked on yesterday. So I did a little bit of work on the UI. So now when you pick up an object, it will give you a little message on the center of the screen right there. Yeah, because I felt like whenever you pick stuff up, it was a little bit ambiguous as to what you actually acquired. I mean, I want to clarify that, make it easier to read. And that morning, what we worked on was the bullet wound healing system. So here we have the heal animation. And it shows the player plucking bullets out of their body. And something we added at the end of the stream was making the bullet shrapnel do a little suspicious noise whenever it hits the ground, and it made that bad guy suspicious of us. All right, so that's what we got so far. So I thought today we would work on another wound healing system. We do the bullet, and I was thinking the shrapnel is similar enough to the bullet, so we can kind of try to tackle that. So right now shrapnel happens whenever you are near an explosion. Shrapnel flies out, and there's a chance that you'll get hit by shrapnel. So let's see if we can hook that up. So we're going to start by doing some debug. Definition, damage. Is shrapnel. Okay. Okay, damage shrapnel is what we want. So let's hook that up. Yeah, so test damage, there we go. So hopefully this will give us shrapnel damage. Hey, perfect. Okay, so we got to hook up the button for this. Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna go in here, into the GUIs. All right, let's hook this up. All right, here we go. Okay, Viceroy A77 asks, how did you get into game development? For me, I did a lot of mods and level design for when Doom 2 came out back in the 90s. And then I continued to like doing Half-Life stuff and Quake stuff and just making lots of maps and level design. And eventually, my portfolio, after a while, got me a job at a game studio. Then the studio exploded, or it got shut down, and then I started Millennial Games. Hey Hayatal asks, I'm not a dev, but I'm curious if you have any thoughts on where messages like that should appear. I.e., is it any more complex than it should be immediately readable, so center of the screen it goes? Yeah, so my first iteration of that message was having it appear to the left of the crosshair. And I felt that it didn't quite work because like it made me have to move my eye away from the center of the screen. And I didn't like that because it was just hard to read. Then I tried to move it to the right of the crosshair, and that really didn't work either. And that's why it's in the center top right now. Is I felt that it kind of let me focus on the center of the screen, and that worked a bit better in making it more readable. All right, so we are going to add a heal button right here. Let's see. Okay. Let's make sure we don't have any shrapnel code in here. All right, no shrapnel. All right, let's do this. I'm going to toggle the visibility of the shrapnel heal. I think it's called condition shrapnel, is that right? Condition shrapnel count. Okay. Shrapnel. Alright, looks good. Okay, so now we're gonna just copy one of these buttons. Okay. Not too bad. And we're gonna call this button heal shrapnel. Yeah, so now we've got to find the right position for this button. So we're gonna go right here. Okay, so the damage UI is at negative 150, 280. This is 275. Okay, so it's just this number minus 5. So we want 315. And do a replace. Okay. Well, let's see if this works. Hey, we have a heal button. Awesome. I kind of wonder if we should make the background of this box not black. Maybe we can make it like a light or a little bit of red in there. Let's see. Back color. Let's see how that looks. Oops. Let's try that again. Spell no events for color, border color. There we go. Right here. Oh. How about let's try that? It's not bad. I kind of like it. I kind of like how it differentiates itself from the other buttons. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh no, it's not very readable, is it? Yeah, it's always weird to put things over a dark background and then you test over a light background. You find that it kind of doesn't quite read. What if we just did that? Ugh. Ugh. That's not bad. Ugh, I'm just kind of spinning my wheels here. Do we want to do that? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nice. I like it. Anton says, I find designing UI to be unobtrusive, yet readable and accessible to use is really difficult. Yeah, UI is pretty challenging to do. I kind of really enjoy working on it, though. I think I know a lot of people have strong thoughts about UI, but I don't know. I always enjoy working on it. I don't think I'm particularly good at it, but I like it. I am more than happy to play with UI for a while. Okay, all right, let's just do that. Oh, actually, I got an idea. Instead of individually encoding everything, we're gonna make a little shortcut to it. Define heal 0.6. Let's try 0.7. now we can place each of these with a little shortcut. Make our lives easier. Ah! Stop it. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. If you ever refer to the same thing over and over again, I think it's pretty much always a good idea to turn into a constant value. At some point down the road, you're going to need to change it, and it's going to be a big pain in the butt to have to find every single instance of this thing. Okay, here we are. So, on mouse, enter, okay, let's exit. There we go. That's it, there we go. 0.5. Yep. Okay. Looks good. Let's make sure there's no error messages. Alright. Cool. We have a nice red background for these buttons. I think that makes it read a lot better. Great. Let's check in that change. Okay. Ray Elvisser says GoldenEye's solution was to say picked up some ammo in the bottom corner for about 5 seconds. I think about that a lot. Anton says many older games essentially had a live console or a event log. Yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know, pretty old school thing to do, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to keep things more, what's the word, like diegetic to reduce the UI and have everything kind of be in the world. But I, excuse me, I couldn't find a way to make it clear that you picked up 5 ammo shells. I didn't know a better way of doing it. Eric's Comics asked, does the cough blood projectile cause a suspicious noise? I don't think it does. I think I figured that little spit thing would be too quiet to make a noise. But I think the coughing itself does generate a noise around you. What we're doing? Oh yeah, we're hooking up the shrapnel heal thing. All right, so we're gonna make it call a new command called context menu heal shrapnel. Okay, so we're going to hook that up. Here we go. All right, else if token equals context menu heal shrapnel. Okay, so we add a new heal state. And I think it's going to be pretty similar to the bullet healing thing. I was trying to figure out if there's a way to just consolidate both shrapnel healing and bullet healing together. But I think that might just make things more confusing. All right, we're just gonna let them be separate. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna make a new entry for the shrapnel healing system. Shrapnel equals false. Okay. All right. We do that. And then we modify our player script to add in this entry. All right. Let's see if it compiles. Eric's comic says, it seems like it would be relatively easy to add a suspicious sight that only triggers the AI to be suspicious if they can see it. I think that would add some good depth while keeping the behavior predictable. Yeah, so the plan right now, I haven't started it yet, but the idea is that when certain things happen in the world, like someone dies, it'll create a little AI nugget, like an invisible marker there. And if an AI eventually sees that invisible marker, then it'll trigger them to do something. So I guess like a dead body would drop a investigate me marker, and then when the AI sees that marker, the marker will disappear, and then it'll trigger the AI to kind of walk over there and check out the dead body. That's the idea right now. I have a feeling there's going to be some weird gotchas, but we'll find out. All right, it compiles. Awesome, great. So now we got to hook up the script to this event and add an animation for it. Okay. Okay. Heal shrapnel. Excuse me. So now, let's take a look at how we did the bullet pluck stuff. Let's move you down here too. Does everything look okay? Yeah, all right. All right, so let's take a look at how we're doing the bullet pluck. Okay, so if you're in an idle state, I'm gonna transition you to the shrapnel healing state. Heal shrapnel. Then we're gonna copy you. Disable pain, get heal shrapnel. Keep looping the animation. And then we turn this off. Okay, all right. Okay, so we need to make a new function called get shrapnel wounds. Condition shrapnel. I think I need to redo how the system works. It's a little bit too much typing to do any changes to the system. And when you do too much typing, it means it's going to be harder to maintain. Okay, shrapnel wounds, get shrapnel wounds. Okay. Well, hopefully that will work. Okay. Is that right? Okay, so now we got to change this to that. Well, let's see what happens. Anton says, I felt this, talking about Deus Ex and their combat. And Anton says, I felt the same way with the new Prey. The combat is very hard and convoluted. Yeah, I really liked Prey a lot. I thought Prey was just a really incredible piece of work. I was so impressed by it. I had a very fun time with it. There's a moment where you realize that I don't think it's too much of a spoiler. There's a moment where we realized that like the development team thought through what every single um, uh, personnel person on the space station was doing at any given time. Like, I'm sure that there's some giant timeline that they have of like this person was here doing this, and then this event happened, and then they went here, and then they went here, and then they went here. And there's just incredible consistency that they created in what was happening in the space station that really impressed me. Okay, what we're doing? Yeah, we're testing the shrapnel. Okay. Hey, sweet. Okay, it's getting there. Hooked up shrapnel healing system. Okay, great. I was thinking we can modify the shrapnel heal animation to take a little bit longer than the bullet pluck, because I think shrapnel will happen much less often. I think. I don't know. That's my guess. I guess before that, we could work on the making the shrapnel pop out of your body. So we are gonna make a new animation event called Heal Shrapnel. And we're gonna copy this system right here. Wait. What's happening here? Okay, so heal wound bullet removes the wound. Bullet pluck spawns the little bullet piece that you flies out of your body. I wonder if I can consolidate these two things together. I feel like that would make things a little bit easier. Heal wound. Then it calls. Yeah, I wonder if I could just merge this, move the bullet pluck code into here. So I would have less control over the timing, but it would make my code a lot easier to read and the script easier to read. I'm trying to think of will I ever want to decouple the timing of when the wound gets healed and when the an object gets spawned in the world. Yeah, I kind of want to simplify this. Oh, you know what? I could just test it right here. I could just move you right there. And then just not call this line. Comment it out. Yeah, let's test it out. Let's see how it works. Mouse Fountain says, gameplay style of Deus Ex, but with the world building style of Morrowind. That would be nuts. I would play that. I would play that a lot, I think. I have not played Morrowind yet, but I have admired it from afar. I think it's the choices that it makes with this world and this art is very good. I'm a huge fan of the way they made that game look. Okay, so we're gonna test a bullet wound. That looks great. I kind of don't like how the little bullet nugget gets kind of like camouflaged with all the blood spurts. So Apex Legends kind of solves that by giving it a really bright neon trail behind it. But unfortunately, I don't really know how to do trails here. Anyways, I think consolidating those two things together was works pretty well. So we will do that. Get rid of that. And we're going to comment out the bullet pluck call. Where are you? Yeah, let's make things. Let's simplify. Make sure it compiles. Great. Okay, cool. It feels good. Okay, so now we want to change this from heal wound bullet into heal wound shrapnel. And let's give a little note to ourselves to why we're commenting that. Okay. Condition. Shrapnel. Okay, so I don't think it won't spawn the shrapnel piece, but it should. The logic should all work to make the shrapnel counter count down now. So we have a functioning video game. Oops, oops, oops. What's going on? Great. I love it. Let's check it in. Cool. Anton says, yeah, apart from the immediate encounters, where I usually get really quickly smoked by some strange move from the enemies, I think almost all of the game is fantastic. The UI being my other complaint is very bizarre. Yeah. Yeah, I found the combat in Prey to be... I think when I played it as a pretty straight shooter, it was kind of difficult to just like blasting the shotgun. I feel that it was kind of encouraging me to deal with enemies in a different way. Yeah, the game kind of became more fun when I did that. It does have one of my favorite UIs. I guess you call it a UI, which is the recycler machine. The recycler machine kind of reminded me of the in-game GUIs from Doom 3. It felt very much like a relative of it, where like you approach this computer and then you can move the mouse cursor around the screen, and you can throw in your junk items and it'll spit out resources. And the way they made resources look like is just spit out like cubes and circles into a bin, which I thought was really good. Every time I did it, I loved it. I love throwing. I love picking up a pile of cubes and primitive shapes. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, do shrapnel pluck. Okay. I feel a little bit weird in copying and pasting this code. I wonder if... Yeah, you know what? Let's make this code reusable. Let's be responsible. Okay. Undo that. Let's wait for it to finish compiling. Ray Elvisor says, I found a Souls-esque lock-on mod for Skyrim that made combat way more fun. Ooh, that sounds... Oh, that's a really cool mod idea. I would want to check that out. I think if I had more time, I would have loved to have jumped into modding the Skyrims. Let's see. Right, what we want to do was genericize this function. So we're going to rename it to do heal pluck. And we are gonna do that. Projectile name. Oh wait, that's not right, is it? Gonna do that instead. Def name. Def bullet pluck. Yeah, I think I played Skyrim without any mods, and then I went back to it some years later and I played it again. What were the mods that I did? I think it was like super basic stuff. It was like, let me zoom out the map more so I could see more of the map. And only let me fast travel at towns, which I think made the game a lot more fun. Or like at major towns, they have the little caravan thing. And the last thing I added was miniature horses, which was really good because I love seeing my character ride a tiny, tiny horse. Okay, so then right here, let's see, projectile shrapnel. All right, I need to make a new debris. That's so the shrapnel piece I do have, it causes damage, which I don't. I don't think I want that. Let's see. Rail Visser says, my favorite Skyrim mod was one that added a handful of backpacks to the game. Seeing storage space represented on my character made a surprisingly big difference to how I felt toward the game. Oh, that's cool. So like your character would lug around a big old backpack. Huh. Yeah. I would be into that. I love that kind of stuff. I think the game that had the melee combat that I enjoyed the most was this early Unreal Engine game called Rune, R-U-N-E. Um, it had really cool art, and it had this combat system that I really liked, where hang on, let me do this. Debris, shrapnel. Sorry, I can't really talk and do words at the same time. Yeah, I had this combat system where, I mean, I think it's some pretty expected stuff. Where it's like, depending what direction you're moving, it'll affect how you swing. If you're like strafing, it'll do a side swing. If you're going forward or backwards, it'll do an overhead swing. But it had some really cool stuff where your shield that you were holding was just this like, you could press the button to raise it up, but if you just left it by your side, it just had this like ambient hitbox where if anything hit it, it would just absorb the damage. I think in a lot of games you have to like hold down a button or press a button to activate shield mode. But I thought it was really cool how the shield was just always on. And so when you were in combat, you would kind of like aim your character so that the shield polys would kind of face the enemy. And there was something really good about that. And like, I think arrows would stick to it. The other really cute thing was that you could pick up objects and use them as a club, or you could throw them. I mean, I guess like Nidhogg kind of does something similar to that, where you can throw your weapon, and it feels really satisfying. Because there's a really cute thing where if you can chop off a person's head, and then you could pick up their head and use it as like a, I don't know, as like a rock, I guess, and throw it around. It was something. Okay. Where is that shrapnel model? Okay, models, objects, shrapnel variety. Models, objects, shrapnel, and the rest we could leave the same. Oh, except for the bouncing noise. Does it not have a... What noise does it make when it hits the ground? Well, let's find a appropriate sound for it then. I don't know what's going on there. Sound world. Sounds like a basketball. That's not good. It's not bad. Yeah, we'll do that one. Oops. Impact small. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh wait, no, it's not gonna work. What was the name of this thing? Def shrapnel pluck. How's it compiling? Yeah. Eric's Comics says X111 13's environmental weapons were great. Oh, I don't remember what they had in that environmental stuff they had in that game. I think that game 13 was very ahead of its time. It had some really cool stylistic choices that that had a big influence on me. Is that right? BBB Yan says Dark Messiah of Might and Magic had some awesome environmental interactions. It did. I loved that game. I think Dark Messiah, Might and Magic was I don't know. I thought it was very underappreciated because it was doing some really cool stuff. It had a mighty boot that you can kick people, and for some reason, this fantasy world just had spikes all over the walls, which was great because you could just kick a little person into a spike wall. It's like, perfect video game. Very good. So many tall cliffs to knock people down also. What was I testing? Oh yeah. Shrapnel wound. little chunk of charcoal coming in my body. Alright, that works. Cool. Yeah. So the logic all works. That's great. I think we could do a little tweak to the animation to differentiate it from the bullet pluck. Right now it's a little bit, looks a little bit too samey. Okay, sweet. Genericize the that. Okay. Looks right. Looks good. Okay, sweet. Mouse Fountain says, I'd love to see an adventure game that's all about trying to stick all your gear somewhere on the character physically. I've been thinking about that a lot. I would, if I was better at physics and quaternions, then I would try to attempt that. But I don't know, it feels very technically challenging, so I've kind of stayed away. But someone who's better at it should definitely do it, because I would play it. Sounds rad. I was considering trying to make a backpack for Skin Deep where all the objects in the backpack are physics objects and they kind of like get jostled around. So basically every time you open it, your items will just be in a different configuration, which I thought would be pretty funny. But I think that might be a little bit too hard to do. Ray Elviser says, I once tried to sketch out how your character in Far Cry 2 was able to hold all their equipment. It got messy. And if I remember correctly, like in Far Cry 2, they actually do kind of like limit how much you can hold more than a lot of other games. Like you can hold like 4 primary weapons, I think. Where do I put this monkey wrench and these 3 IEDs? Everest Comic says the glass shards from broken windows being throwable like ninja stars is my personal favorite from 13. Oh my god, that's so good. I didn't know they did that. Oh, I gotta add that to my to-do list. I gotta see this in action. Throw glass shards. Yeah. Mega into that. That's great. Anton says, are you sure it's healing and not just throwing things out of Charlie Brown's Halloween candy? Yeah, it is. It is Charlie Brown's Halloween candy. Eric's Comic says, Fitzpackerton fully realized. Huh. Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't think about that. So Fitzpackerton was a game jam game that I worked on with a bunch of cool people. And we made a game about packing things, like putting things in a backpack or putting things in a car, and it kind of told a story through the things that you were packing. But yeah, it was all physically simulated, and it's kind of a little fun little game jam game. Peace Duster says in 13, carrying chairs as weapons reduces the hitbox of your head. What? That's so good. That's a good gag. Oh my god. That game. What a special thing that they made. Malice Fountain says, love Fitzpackerton. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think as we were making it, it became clear that the direction that we ended up taking was trying to imagine it as if it were a theater stage play. So basically, instead of doing like video game tricks of teleporting you or whatever, like everything had to be physically doable on a stage, of like walls kind of like rising up and down, or objects having a way to transition away physically and gracefully. And it was a fun like limitation that made the game kind of much more focused. All right, I think I'm gonna call it a day for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the chat. It's been so much fun. Really enjoy hanging out with you, and thank you for spending time with me and watching me make this weird game. Yeah, I think this is looking really good. I'm glad that we were able to kind of like consolidate some parts of the code and make it easier to maintain and kind of simplify things. I think it's hard to know what you need when you are building things as you go, which is like, I don't know, a big reason why things end up messy. But I feel so far the game is, for the most part, pretty. The code is readable still. It's still in a not apocalyptic state, which is really great. I'm really happy about that. All right, I will see you all next time. All right, have a good Wednesday. Bye for now.